anywhere else. Like, there's so much cool stuff to buy. People in like such well-made costumes. There's just random cool things happening. Like earlier in the day, there was wrestling happening over there.
Yeah. I think we just got a thumbs up saying that they are
they're
people
going
in the
into the
lobby are
match?
trying to pick their weapons and stuff.
Oh,
Pick their
cool. So that
loadouts.
means
Nice.
we get to talk about the reason we're here.
Wait, what's that?
I don't know, Crush 40, but like we're over
But
here.
it's okay. It's fine.
Splatoon's happening. And do you think we're going to see another like steamroll of a match ahead of us?
I think that both of these teams are really capable of. I feel like they're kind of on the same level. We have on, I believe, the Overrated Underdogs. We have Vic, who is a prominent member of the Splatuber scene. She's very good at the game. I've played with her before. Like I mentioned, on the other side, we have Raptura, who is also, you know, the mid upper level player that he is, and I think it could really turn out either way. I'm hoping so.
Yeah, I like to see even matches. I don't know if we'll see a Game 3 just yet, although I did take a quick look into our rounds list. Game 3 is going to end up bringing us to New Albacore, with Tower Control as the game mode. That's one of my personal favorites when I play.
Albacore Tower Control. Do you like falling in the water?
Oh, I don't fall in the water.
Oh.
That's why it's my favorite.
I see you.
Walleye start is like... Clamlets on Walleye kind of wild. This definitely... This is how you know PK Sparks had something to do with this event.
It's definitely an interesting map mode pick. For me, it's really easy to shut out the other team, so I don't know. We'll see.
We saw it before. We might see it again. The loadouts on both sides look like everyone just wants to kill each other really fast. But more especially, Green Team has like a lot of ink control on their side. And I feel like that's going to help them especially so. But again, they're going to have to stay alive to make it happen.
For sure. I do notice that there are Stingray specials on both sides of the map for both teams. It is a great special to use for Clam Blitz just because you are kind of you're out in the open when you're holding that clam, and it really makes you an easy target for a Stingray special.
Indeed, and on top of that, because Walleye is like so long, it's so narrow of a stage, you get one Stingray, and all of a sudden, so much is controlled so easily. And if any member of your team is able to follow that up, it almost guarantees you're able to push with that momentum to getting at least one power clam.
And at a minute into the game, and we have possibly a push, but it's really hard to say because they're really trying to gauge where the other team is at, their skill level. They're trying to feel them out a little bit.
Yeah, things are a bit messy here. You'd think at this point we'd get like the standard 20 and run as far as points are got, but like both teams are actually holding the center pretty well. Pick for pick on both sides, and honestly, it's nice to see this as a pleasant change from what we saw in our previous game. Like now things are looking incredibly even-handed where no one's able to break past the center point.
I think both teams feel a little bit hesitant about pushing. They really want to make these pushes count. They don't want to get that 20 and run. So we can see hopefully that their patience pays off.
First Stingray breaks, and we got a Booyah Bomb responding, but I don't know if it was that well cast. It seems like kind of a haphazard response to the Stingray. A couple picks on both sides, but once again, no one's really doing anything. Not a lot of coordination on both sides. Although I feel like that's not because the teams aren't coordinated themselves, but there's like such an active effort to disrupt the other teams. Like there's a whole lot of deaths going on both sides.
Yeah, for sure. And we see, I think that would have been the perfect moment for Squids Calamity to kind of make that push. They had the turf control, they had the numbers advantage, but let's see if this brush, just barely not making it to the basket.
So close, but the push might be still going. It's a bit more widespread at this point, but you brought up a good point with the aim control again, where like both weapon loadouts on both sides leave a lot of control to that as far as firefights break out. But because of that, we haven't seen a lot of like the map being openly one color or the other. We've just seen a lot of picks.
Yeah. I mean, like you said, you were expecting a bloodbath, and here we have a bloodbath.
We got it.
Or ink bath.
Yeah, I guess it's, yes. Never really thought too hard on that one. I'll revisit my scripts later. But nonetheless, The plays, what I do like about what's going on, though, is a lot of the play is focused like around all parts of center stage. Like just seeing like the flanks from both ends, the fact that like all the heights of the center of Walleye are being utilized. Like you can see that it's not just both teams running into each other guns blazing. There's a lot of thought put into how they're approaching.
I think that both teams are trying to collect clams, but the picks are really a little bit too much. They can't really maintain control of very many clams at all. Although I might be eating my words just now with an 18 top. Oh, just kidding. 7.
They're trying really hard. But this time the WR2 coming down defensively. Really good positioning on it, but there's no targets there to really make the most of it.
And I think this brings us back a little bit to just this level. It is really hard to make a push in clam events. There's that ramp where you have to walk up, but if you have a splatling waiting for you on the other side, you're pretty much done for.
Yes, it's not a good time.
No, it's not.
But we might have the first push oncoming shortly. You see a power clam that's on the board. Solar can come up with 37 seconds and counting left on the clocks. Someone's got to do something to break the monotony.
I think that Overrated Underdogs really has to think about how much defense and how much offense they want. Did that guy just squish the brush? He like dropped from the sky.
All right, we got new tactics out here. The bold and the brave. But do we have a cap? Is the real question. Like, if we get no power clams in by the time we're in overtime, all of a sudden things get super dangerous. But we got the first break with the last 3 seconds left. Tons of clams joining, and just like that.
That was such a standstill until that point. They really went back and forth. And like I said, you know, I feel like both of these teams can really push each other. No pun intended.
I mean, it's very evident in the play.
Yeah, we see all of them are X rank. We got a fair match going. We got it.
We do. I like it. Kind of want to see more of it because, like, it was really good play. It was really, like, it was standard as to how each team wanted to approach the map, and they both played it well. But when you have two teams that are playing well, like, something's got to give eventually. That eventually didn't occur until the final few seconds.
Yeah, I think I don't really know what's happening, but it seems like somebody is swapping out.
Is a sub? We got subs.
Whoa, wait! People run 5th players?
Hello? I was told we just barely made 13 teams as far as like pickups were concerned. When did people get subs?
That's cool though.
That is really cool to see.
Not opposed. I think that'll definitely switch it up a little bit. Maybe they might make a more aggressive comp.
It's definitely possible. It throws off like there was a very distinct rhythm to that game one.
Yeah.
Where like there was like little bits of give from who was controlling center stage, who was going to make the push, but then like you brought up earlier, there was just picks left and right that was stopping any of these plays from happening. So like maybe a different player helps like throw that off balance.
Maybe it just we just need a little bit of a spice
Just
in the game.
Just a little.
Spice.
So going to zones on Black Belly, earlier we saw like a complete shutout once again.
Yeah.
Now, I think it's quite evident from the balanced skill levels that are on both sides, we're not going to get that. But on top of that, Black Belly is one of the few maps that has dual zones. I don't know if we're going to see like a full cap or the point differential being like too big on both ends throughout this entire game. We might go into overtime.
You know what I think? I think from what we saw from that Clam Blitz match, I think each team is going to hold their own zone and they're going to struggle to make the picks to get the other zone.
That's always the worst part. That's like...
the 100 overtime.
Yup. That's the vintage. People had to deal with that in spot 1, too. It was like... ugh.
Imagine having a tie in Splatoon.
Oh, I don't want that. I don't think I've ever seen that. I don't know if I want to see that. But nonetheless, it's a draw, I guess. No, you know what? No, I'm not even hazarding that thought. We're just going to go right into it. Splat zones on Black Belly Skate Park for Game 2. And I don't really know what to expect going into this. We saw a really good Game 1. There was no outstanding player or outstanding play to like really say like, I hope I see more of this or I want to see less of that. It was like Both sides played really well. Different cops, though, do bring some very interesting plays.
They brought a bathtub
Why'd
to
they
the
do
ink
that?
bath.
Why'd they do that?
It's definitely an interesting pick. I don't think it's a common pick, but I feel like it's coming a little bit more into prominence as of recently.
If anything, I feel like this is a good map to take Love Lava out for because there's a lot of geometries for the orbs to
Yes.
bounce off of.
Yes.
So they're going to cover a lot of space, and whether or not they're inking a path through the zones is not really their purpose, but they occupy so much space that the enemy inklings can't move through.
Yeah, for sure. But we do see that the zone was kept by the yellow team for a little bit at least. So maybe it is going to be a little bit more back and forth than I thought.
If anything, it starts the pendulum shift. So,
Yes.
like, the one team in the lead, how long are they going to hold that lead? Are they going to be able to maintain that lead? Or are we going to see purple team push itself forward? And are they going to be able to maintain their own lead if they break past 71 points, which is what I would say if they could hold the point.
Squids Calamity. I'm trying to get these names proper so I don't mess this up. Squids Calamity trying their best to hold that middle area, but I don't think that Overrated Underdogs are making it easy for... Oh, just kidding.
Never an easy fight out here. That's another thing I've noticed is that, like, one good feature about a lot of the plays that we've seen is the positioning of the players where they want to get aggressive has been really smart.
Yes.
Like, varying from weapon to weapon, people have been really aware of, like, all right, I could stand here, cover a lot of space with my weapon. Or I could try to balance myself in a way where I could dip really early.
Definitely.
Couple of specials break out on both sides, but once again, not too much going on as we have control in yellow team's favor. Although it seems like they're trying to go through more like the higher ends of the map.
I think it's a smart idea that when you have those zones, you push forward. You need to...
All right, so both teams trying to get something going, although it's going to be Purple Team taking control of one of the points. Not going to be able to maintain it for long, though. It's a lot of what we saw earlier in Game 1, where it's like picks left and right are keeping these plays from being well organized. The specials that are breaking aren't really, like, pushing forward for any particular team.
I mean, it's the key of the game is coordination. You gotta use your numbers to your advantage.
Like, at the end of the day, Splatoon is a team game. Whether or not you want to play it as a lone wolf or you want to make sure that you communicate everything with your team, you still got to be aware of the fact that there's 3 other people with you that are wanting to win.
Yes, and power. It's an exponential power. The more people you have to be able to make those pushes, the stronger your pushes will be.
Especially when like specials come into play. Like, baller coming in from the top. See how well this works. It's gonna be the bomb up top, but like, see, there's no one to follow that up. There's no subsequent specials or even any other players to like be in position to make the most of it.
I feel like it was pushed too far, but there were just not enough people to make sure that their zone is maintained.
Nonetheless, though, there is still the open fight for these controlled zones. But Purple Team doing the efforts that they can to try and at least hold one. Like, you joked about this going into this match, how like we would see the eternal war of like one team controls one zone, the other team controls the other. Who's going to battle for both?
The bane of the existence of double zones.
Yeah, it really is. But like more and more and more, we've been seeing it's yellow team who's been in control. As far as like not just the point lead, but like they're able to push ahead of the zones.
Yeah.
And that's something that can always be further emphasized when you're playing splat zones. Any map, you take the battle ahead of the zones, there's so much less to worry about.
Yeah, so you notice that Overrated Underdogs maintaining those double zones are pushing much more forward than the middle of the map. This gives them the opportunity to try to win their 1v1s. And even if they don't, they still maintain control of the zones for at least some time.
Really well played push there. Getting themselves down to 13 points. Really big, especially as we're coming into the last 15 seconds. And maintaining control even regardless of a couple of flanks coming in.
Silly trying to make that push happen, but it wasn't enough. That solo push was just a little bit too ambitious.
Just like that. we're seeing ourselves into game 3. Very well played from Overrated Underdogs.
Definitely. And you know what? I'm glad that there is that game 3 because it was kind of the opposite of what we saw in the first set.
Yeah, like things were sitting so even, but like I think it was the team that actually switched players sort of shifted things off balance for themselves.
I think so too. Perhaps that maybe that map wasn't right for that player, or perhaps the weapon choice may have not been just the best. Or Team Overrated Underdogs ran 2 buckets. Buckets, like you said, are great on this map. So
It's like there's so many little factors that go into it that you gotta like think about. And then just like that, you can't think about it too long because then the moment's gone. You're going into a completely different setting. The Albacore is going to be the stage, tower control the game mode, and all of a sudden, buckets aren't as useful. They're nice for being able to contest the tower itself, but not the geometries of the stage.
yeah, definitely. And now I think Albacore is an interesting map.
It definitely is. It's very open-ended. It's got really strange places where it offers cover.
Yeah.
And like part of it doesn't even follow the trail of the tower. So you got to think outside the box as far as your pushes, and especially their flanks, which it seems like Squids Calamity is more akin to, like going for those little off picks.
I think that we're going to see a lot of long range. Like you said, there's a lot of different places where you can hide to get cover, but a lot of those places are really up in high places. Like I say places a lot, but in high areas that you can't really reach the enemy unless you have a long range weapon.
Yeah.
So maybe a charger, jet squelcher, something like that.
It's a good assumption. And I'm also expecting a bit of range, but one thing I'm kind of hoping we see a bit more of is like sub play. I feel like a lot of different types of subs offer themselves well to controlling space on Albacore, sometimes more than like the primaries. Like burst bombs are decent, auto bombs, love to see some chickens cause some havoc. Torpedo, I feel like being like premier. I'm getting I'm getting looks.
We're getting looks from the players. I'm
They
ready
know
for
about
this.
chickens.
All right, I think we are well on our way to getting started with our round 3. Our first round 3 of this set,
Yeah,
this pool.
or at least this one. All right, so what do we got? Oh, my favorite.
The double splatlings. Excuse
All
me.
right.
And a roller. Interesting choice for this particular map because there are a lot of greats where they can't swim through or else they'll face an inkling touch water kind of situation.
Yeah, I'm actually really curious to see how well that ends up working out. But I don't know. So blue team, they have a lot of range on their side, like you were predicting, range coming out.
Yeah.
But like, I feel like green team's kits across the board are really good for fighting the weapons that are at hand.
Yeah, I could see it, definitely. And great pick on Raptura by Gregory.
All right. I got him.
Right, and
Yeah, this is actually a little bit of what I was anticipating. There's a lot of separating to the 1v1s.
yes.
So we didn't see a lot of it in game 1. We saw plenty of picks, but we didn't see a lot of the 1v1 breakoffs because Walleye itself is just very condensed. It's easy to see team fights break out. But on a map like Albacore, where everything is so open-ended, like everyone that's trying to break off to flank, everyone's going to bump into each other. So unless we see well-coordinated special pushes, it's going to be a lot of these like solo fights.
For sure, and we see on the side of Overrated Underdogs, they are running a double missile comp, which is actually, I think, a good choice on this map in particular because you can't. And there are instances where you can't reach the other enemy. You need to push the backliner back. You need to just give yourself that opportunity to make those pushes. So I think that's a great choice on their part.
I would agree, especially so because like you can be from really far away. All of a sudden, you're targeting a lot of the members of the opposing team, and if you're able to offer that type of information consistently to your team, you know where you have to focus your efforts as far as like, all right, you want to break off and kill someone? Well, your target's over there. Go get him, champ.
Yeah, definitely. It's a little bit like a point sensor and a weapon.
Nonetheless, looking ourselves back at the action, blue team's got a little bit of a lead, but honestly not a comfortable lead considering that.
You know, this is like, it's still it feels a little bit like the first match that we saw. It's very back and forth at literally anybody's game. It's not a really strong push on either side, but I may be just eating my words just now.
Possibly, we got the one pick on that side, but there's no one to defend this push. Like, Jerry's just schmooving.
You gotta schmoof on the tower sometimes. You gotta like really utilize that fancy footwork.
He's making it work, especially like.
Oof, J-Man.
He made it count though. Got the point really far ahead. Enough time for the rest of the blue side to hop on the point. If they break this checkpoint, we got problems.
Definitely. It's worth mentioning that you need to break the checkpoint in one push, or else you have to kind of start that counter over. And, you know, it really puts the team who's making that push at an advantage if they can pick that checkpoint.
Yeah, and especially, like, how deep that last checkpoint is. Like, the counter push from Overrated Underdogs is going to have to be a ridiculously strong one. Because they're not only going to have to get to that last one, they're going to get through the secondary one, too.
And you notice that I believe that Squids Calamity is making their pushes with the numbers advantage. They're really focusing on picking off the ones with twos.
Yes. So, like, it's good recognition and I feel communication from both ends, where if you're seeing everyone's breaking off as lone wolves, they're finding their fights, all of a sudden you split it 2-2, you're winning out all of your fights. It's very rare that you see the 2v1, like, bungle up.
Mm-hmm. And you want to give yourself that probability. You want probability to be on your side.
Yeah, the numbers need to lay with you, especially in this tight of a situation.
Oof.
Another good pick from Silly. You know, both of us questioned the Roller coming into this set, but Roller's putting in mad work.
Oh my god, barely dodging that Heavy's shots. Really keeping Team Overrated Underdogs at bay.
Like, this is like long-range pressure you don't often get a chance to see from Rollers. It's not how the weapon's typically played, but it's still being executed fairly well.
And that was a really strong push on Squid's Calamity, but it's looking like the timer is ticking down, and I'm not really sure that they can make that push back all the way from pretty much the middle of the map again.
Yeah, they're gonna have to do it within overtime, and they're gonna have to not mess it up once it starts. But I don't even know if they're gonna get that chance, Milana. Look at this, 5 seconds coming in onto the clock. No specials, really well organized, no one to really push, and that's gonna be that.
And the game goes to Overrated Underdogs coming in with that reverse sweep. I guess it's a reverse sweep.
Yeah, it's a best of 3, so it's kind of hard to judge it out, but like.
But
all right.
Honestly, I think both teams were really evenly matched.
Yes.
It was hard to say which team was gonna win based on. Oh, you see all this good sportsmanship. Man, I love the Splatoon community.
Yeah, love to see it, especially because like it really was a good set. Like,
yeah,
I feel like it's kind of rare to even find even-handed matches like that in like higher level play.
Definitely.